Let's get into it. Sold Not For Sale podcast. Coach Colin here. Like the title says, there are a couple of Joe Rogan guests who got J6 so wrong and more importantly, got Trump's stance on how he felt about the prisoners so wrong. It's crazy. And one of them is Michael Malice, which is so surprising. And I'm going to get to that one first. Then after that, we're going to jump over to another one. And then another one. I'm just showing you a little bit of Joe's evolution. Despite being in front of these people with such wrong ideas about Trump and J6, Joe still comes to the proper determination, which I find great. Then I'm going to show you Trump speaking about the J6 prisoners that he planned and has released. And then we're going to get into seeing these people actually be released. Let's start with the Joe Rogan stuff first, though.
And at the center of it, the single most famous person arrested that day was a Navy veteran from Arizona called Jacob Chansley, often referred to as the QAnon shaman.
The so-called QAnon shaman.
QAnon shaman.
Someone named Q Shaman.
Jacob Chansley became the face of January 6th, a dangerous conspiracy theorist dressed in outlandish costume who led the violent insurrection to overthrow American democracy. For these crimes, Chansley was sentenced to nearly 4 years in prison, far more time than many violent criminals now receive. What did Jacob Chansley do to receive this punishment? To this day, there is dispute over how Chansley got into the Capitol building. But according to our review of the internal surveillance video, it is very clear what happened once he got inside. Virtually every moment of his time inside the Capitol was caught on tape. The tapes show that Capitol Police never stopped Jacob Chansley. They helped him. They acted as his tour guides.
Wow.
Here's video of Chansley.
They're opening the door for him.
Capitol Police officers take him to multiple entrances and even try to open locked doors for him. We counted at least 9 officers who were within touching distance of unarmed Jacob Chansley. Not one of them even tried to slow him down. Chansley understood that Capitol Police were his allies. Video shows him giving thanks for them in a prayer on the floor of the Senate. Watch.
Thank you, Heavenly Father, for giving the inspiration needed to these police officers to allow us in this building.
Contrast the reality of what Jacob Chansley did in the Capitol building on January 6th.
Oh, he's bald.
Indisputable facts recorded on video, some of which has never before been seen, with the depiction of Jacob Chansley that you've seen in the media for more than 2 years. He's a terrorist, they said. He should be killed.
Shoot him. Shoot him. Like, you burst into the United States, if he was dressed like bin Laden, would you have shot him?
Shoot him.
No.
Shoot him. It makes you wonder, who are the violent extremists here? Not Jacob Chansley. And the video proves that. But you would never have known from the media coverage.
The people sitting in the chairs.
Wild, right? You're not supposed to go into the Capitol building. Granted,
I thought you certain times you are.
Not like that.
Yeah, not like that. Sure.
Not like that. But when you see the people taking him around, essentially on a tour, that's not what I thought it was.
I just hope all the conservatives watching this realize how little appetite there is in the Republican Party for defending people like this, and thinking that Mitch McConnell, Donald Trump care about this is a delusion.
It's not even defending them. It's just forget about it. Let's look at what actually happened. We didn't know that happened.
Right.
We had a version of it where it was just chaos and the cops ran away.
And cops were murdered.
Yeah. I would have never imagined that this.
I'm shocked to see that.
That's so wild.
And like to your point that it's not a bigger story. That it's Tucker who's covering this.
It's just broken. And I think people are starting to pay attention to it now.
I don't think it's broken. I think it's by design. I think it's It's by design. It's not an accident.
No, I mean, it just broke. I mean, like.
Oh, yeah. Okay, story just
got out in the world.
Yeah.
I think it's really recent. And so I think people are just starting to recognize that it's not what you thought it was.
I like just right at this last second, you can see Joe's mind computing. Because I didn't need to see this footage to understand what was going on. The second that I heard about it, that's just me. But I got tinfoil Speedo on. You think I wear it for no reason? I don't wear it for fashion. You know what I mean? It's a utility down there. Okay, but you can see his mind working. Like, no, it's not people. And that's good. That's good. I'm very happy about that. But the fact that Mike Malice is saying that Donald Trump didn't care about these people, and that was back when Tucker was on Fox. Another thing I have to touch on really quick. Okay, there's so many things that he said that are just so surprising to me. The fact that he's like, oh, look, and it's Tucker that has to cover it. Tucker's a journalist, man. What's with people talking down on Tucker for? Like, what is this? He's been every day when he was on Fox, he's covering stories. Well, he's writing scripts. He has a producer. He's putting things together. I don't understand. What do people think it is? We're going to consider the people who are on breaking points, Crystal Ball, Sagar's a nice guy, but Crystal Ball, they're a journalist and Tucker's not. Kyle Kalinski's a journalist and Tucker's not. Get out of here. What are we talking about? Why do people always do that? And then to say that Donald Trump doesn't care, no appetite to help these people or anything like that. It's such a wild thing to say. You know, the guy was out of office. What could he have even done? All he could do was run, promise to release him, and then did. You know what I mean? I don't know. I just don't get it. And then to say that cops were murdered. How do you even... I wouldn't have believed that either way. I didn't when it all first happened, because when people die, you see them dead. Not actually, you won't see footage of it, but we did see when someone actually did shoot at Ashley Babbitt. But you would have saw the cop. They would have said, this is the person who died. Here he is. Look at him. This is his name. This year to this year. R.I.P. You would have saw all that. You didn't see any of that. So how do you even come to that determination that cops died? Such an odd thing to say. And he was wrong on all fronts. 1,500 pardons. Trump, his first term, didn't use the pardons all that much. I think it was like 239 pardons that he had. This time, like when he uses them in the right way. You know what I mean? Kodak Black, which was insane. I didn't understand that at all. But J6 prisoners. Second time around, J6 prisoners, 1,500 pardons. Also, Ross, the creator of Silk Road as well. I mean, come on, man. This is ridiculous. But let's get into the next clip here. I'm sorry I went off like that. It's just so crazy to think he doesn't care. He's not in office. What's he going to do? Anyway.
For the January 6th thing.
All right, slow it down. As you can see on the screen, it's Jim Gaffigan. It's going to be a little unbearable. We'll just fight through it for him.
Is pretty bad.
Well, the January 6th thing is bad, but also the intelligence agencies were involved in provoking people to go into the Capitol building. That's a fact.
So wait a minute. You're saying that guy, what's his name?
Ray Epps?
Yeah, you really think that he
I don't know, but I do know that every other...
pretty apparent. I think he's going to sue Fox.
I think every other person who was involved in January 6th, who was involved in coordinating a break-in into the Capitol and in instigating people breaking, they were all arrested. This guy wasn't. Not only that, they were defending him in the New York Times, the Washington Post, all these different things, because saying that Fox News is unjustly accused him of instigating. Well, he clearly instigated. He did it on camera. I don't know if he was a Fed. I know a lot of people think he was a Fed. The people that were there were calling him a Fed. What I do know is when they asked the FBI said, we can't tell you whether or not there were people that were there that were doing that. Now, there's been reports that there was hundreds of agents that were there that were doing that. I don't know if that's true either. But I do know that they do use agent provocateurs to disrupt peaceful protests. It's a common tactic. What they do is, say if there's like the World Trade Organization is a great example. And that was in, I think, the 90s in Seattle. And so what they did was they were protesting the World Trade Organization. They were doing it peacefully. It was a big problem. So what they did is they sent in, allegedly, agent provocateurs. They started smashing buildings and lighting things on fire. Now it's not a peaceful protest. Now they can bring in the police. Now they can start arresting people. And then they created a no-protest zone where literally if you had a pin on your jacket that was the WTO with a red line through it, they would not let you cross. You could not cross with a pin that was against the WTO and go to work. There was a no-protest zone. So they silenced protest, which is a part of our freedom of speech. So this is a tactic that some government agencies use to stop
but wait a
peaceful
minute.
protest.
All right, so what you're saying is on January 6th, that this event that obviously Trump organized, forget about the Giuliani stuff and the, whether they thought that it was
He definitely
stolen.
encouraged people to protest.
Yes. But all right, so you're saying that like the FBI and Nancy Pelosi and I'm
not saying Nancy Pelosi.
No, but like you're saying that like they're like, we'll make this instead of an awkward protest, we'll encourage it so that it'll backfire on Trump rather than being this rising of people that believe that there was election corruption.
I think it's certainly
I think
possible.
that would be hard. You think it's possible? I think it's possible.
You don't think it's... Wait a minute. You think it's hard to do?
I think that, that the FBI or the CIA saying, hey, Trump lost this election. Because here's what you're kind of implying. Trump lost the election. He is such an amazing communicator, and he's convinced this loyal base that there was election interference. We don't want them to protest. How we can end this is if we encourage people to go beyond protesting to essentially go into the Capitol and take a shit in the hallway. I mean, I'm exaggerating a little bit.
Yeah.
But, like, I don't see why that would be of use. Like, I'm more suspicious why Trump didn't call for backup when, for the Capitol Police. You know what I mean? It's like there was, and that like Michael Flynn's brother was, you know what I mean? Like there's way more conspiracy stuff against Trump, and then I think the slim likelihood that people were like, oh, Trump's a problem. Let's just get these people that are loyal to Trump to run into the Capitol so that we can arrest 300 people. Does that make sense?
No, it doesn't make sense. No, I think it's a standard tactic, especially when someone is the enemy of the intelligence agencies. With Trump, that's absolutely the case. Trump set himself up against the intelligence agencies. He did it openly and he did it brazenly. And a lot of people think it's very dangerous. Like the intelligence agencies are very important. You want to find out what's going on in other countries. You want to find out what the threats to America are. You want to find out what terrorist activities are going to be taking place and stop them before.
And, JFK had his problem with the intelligence agencies.
Well, yeah. I mean, look, it's unchecked power, right? That's the deep state. It's unchecked power. And I think Trump was very open about his disdain for the intelligence agencies. He created enemies in the intelligence agencies. It's standard for intelligence agencies in this country to encourage agent provocateurs or to employ agent provocateurs.
And so you're saying...
Yes. And, Gaffigan, 100% wrong. Trump actually did offer backup, offered it to Nancy. Nancy said no. Et cetera, but just another guess, just completely wrong. Glad Joe stood his ground there because, Joe can't exactly prove what he's saying. Gaffigan definitely can't prove what he's saying. We're lucky that he's even able to talk. He's mouth breathing over there, but it's just very solid of Joe. I would encourage everybody to look into, this even happened in communist days. Lenin actually had people, and it was with the church. He had people who would try to infect church groups with atheist ideas. I forget what their name was. He actually gave them a title, but they would go into church groups because it's like, oh, I can join a group. Yeah, I'm Christian, blah, blah, blah. And then they would try to sow dissent. They would try to say, maybe Jesus wasn't real, blah, blah, blah. Atheist ideals. They would try to put that forward into the group. Also, outside of Lenin, you go to the US, you go to the 60s and the 50s, I believe, around the time when the Black Panthers existed. And you can look into something called Red Squads. Look into Red Squads and what they were. It was the exact same thing. They would go into groups. They would be there to try and figure out what a group was trying to do, if they were getting too radical. That's what they were there for. And it slowly morphed into them being like, well, they're almost at the point of doing something. I kind of want this mission to be done because I don't like meeting up with this group every day. Let's push them over the edge. And that was a thing that was done often. And that's pretty much what Joe's talking about. So it is something that happens often. Let's move on to the last clip here. Joe Rogan's last stance on the whole J6 thing.
The amount of pressure that they're putting on people to let them know that if there's ever anything like this again, this is what's going to happen.
Right.
Everyone's going to. The amount of pressure that they're putting on people to let them know that if there's ever anything like this again, this is what's going to happen.
Right.
Everyone's going to jail.
Yeah.
People that shouldn't go to jail are going to jail. If the cops let you in the door and they give you a tour, you're going to jail. Like, we're going to call it a violent insurrection, and everyone's going to jail. And we're going to let you in. We're going to open up the barricades, and we're going to have federal agents in the audience encouraging you to go into the house. And then when we're under oath, we're going to say we can't answer whether or not federal agents were inciting people to go into the Capitol.
Like, how ethically inappropriate do you think everything about that is?
It's
like,
so
dude, it is so bad.
It's so bad.
Yeah.
If this was happening from the right, if this was Trump doing this, people would be losing their shit. You should be losing your shit if it happens in any political party. This is wild.
Hey, I gotta rewind. I think we just caught Joe. Where was he doing it? Oh God, he's doing an Elon salute. Oh gosh. Get the who handles cancellations for the media? Get them in here immediately. He's doing the Elon salute. Gonna do an episode on that later on. You know what? I will say this. Okay, if you know about the Elon salute thing, the Roman salute, my heart goes out to the people. That whole thing. Whoever is in charge of Trump's people, when they go on stage for Trump, someone has to be like, hey, come here. What are you going to do on stage? That's all they have to do. People have to start asking questions when it comes to Trump and his camp. And if you don't know about the whole Elon thing, you'll find out about it soon because I'm going to do an episode probably right after I'm done recording this one. Let's get into Donald Trump just being the best president ever. I love the fact that now the media has to deal with this again. There's no more people in the background being like, everybody leave. No. It's Donald Trump being like, let's sit here for an hour and let's talk about it. Okay? Let's sort it out. I'll answer your questions. I'm fine. No, I'm of course, I'm doing monumental work here and I'll answer your questions at the same time. No problem. Let's do it.
They didn't have a ruling. They've been treated very unfair. The judges have been absolutely brutal. The prosecutors have been brutal. Nobody's ever treated people in this country like that.
Mr. President, are you commuting the sentences of anyone who assaulted a police officer on January 6th?
Well, we're looking at two police officers, actually, that Washington police officers who went after an illegal, and things happened and they ended up putting them in jail. They got 5-year jail sentences. You know the case. And we're looking at that in order to give them we got to give them a break.
But is there clemency in your actions today for anyone?
Well, it would be a pardon. That would be a pardon. The one I'm talking about would be a pardon.
Here you go, sir. Should there be punishment for the people who assaulted law enforcement officers that day?
Well, I will say this. They've been in jail for a long time already. I see murderers in this country get 2 years, 1 year, and maybe no time. So they've already been in jail for a long time. These people have been destroyed. What they've done to these people is outrageous. There's rarely been anything like it in history, in the history of our country. And even people that were aggressive, and in many cases, I believe they happen to be outside agitators, but, what do I know, right? But I think they were outside agitators. There were outside agitators involved. And obviously the FBI was involved because Ray admitted the FBI was involved. Didn't he say 23 people, indirectly or directly, were involved? And it was then 26. That's a lot of people. Now we got to take care of these people have been treated so badly. It's never happened before. What happened in Seattle where they took over a big portion of the city? What happened in Portland, where they burn down the city every day and people die. Nothing happened to anybody. But they go after these people violently. I mean, they're still going after brand new people. They found somebody else with a picture. There's never been anything like this. And you know, it's almost 100%. Think of this, almost 100% of the people are convicted. 100%. It's Washington, D.C. People go into a trial and they say, oh, I have a wonderful lawyer and I didn't do anything wrong. And they end up in shackles almost immediately and jail. No, we're not going to let it happen.
Beautiful, man. Absolutely beautiful. Definitely a man of his word. He handled business like a pro. I can't wait to show you the people who were released. I'm just going to show you this quick clip.
And we had 1,500. We have 16 under review. As you know, we commuted about 16 of them because it looks like they could have done things that were not acceptable for a full pardon. But these people have served years of jail, and their lives have been ruined. And in many cases, listen to me for a second. Stop interrupting. They served years in jail, and if you look at the American public is tired of it. Take a look at the.
I love it, man. I love it. Stop interrupting. That's what we're getting back to. That's what we're getting back to in regards to the media. We're getting back to stop interrupting. Not Karine just lying every day for Biden. We're getting back to the actual president standing in front of people and being like, be quiet when I'm speaking, actually. And how crazy is it? Am I nuts? I don't like Biden, okay? I don't like Kamala Harris. But she's the vice president of, or was, thank God. Was the vice. If I was in front of her and I asked her something, I'd let her speak. I wouldn't interrupt her. You know, Biden too, he's a president. I wouldn't be like, I'd be like, this is the president of the United States. I mean, you know, forget what I think of the guy. He's talking. And he's like 100 years older than I am. I'd be like, okay, let this guy talk. The media in their head, they're just like, well, it's Trump. I'll just interrupt Trump. Like, are you crazy? I'm talking about not interrupting the worst president that there's ever been. And this guy's casually interrupting the best president. It's why. Am I crazy? I think if you ask the president something, you be quiet when he answers. No? I don't know, man. It's weird. Anyway, let's jump over to, we got to start with this. This is, a lot of people are calling him a disgraced Capitol Police officer. His name is, I believe, Michael Ferrone. I believe that's how you pronounce his name. He has this to say about what Trump is doing with the prisoners.
Thanks, America. This feels like a betrayal to you.
Oh, I have been betrayed by my country. Rest assured, I have been betrayed by my country, and I've been betrayed by those that supported Donald Trump. Whether you voted for him because he promised these pardons or for some other reason, you knew that this was coming, and here we are. Thanks, America.
I'm so tired of people thinking they can just shame all of America when they don't get the one thing that they want. You know? Just, thanks, America, you know? Thanks for releasing guys who just were picking up garbage inside the Capitol and, we're trying to put them in receptacles and being respectful. Thanks. Those guys got pardoned. Thanks, America. I got betrayed here. Not to mention the guy kind of perjured himself. The J6 committee. Look at this guy. This guy passed away. His name's Matthew Perna, and he passed away at his own hands when he found out about his conviction because he knew how long he would be serving, and he couldn't possibly fathom doing that kind of time. And, Trump did give him a pardon, although he is gone now. He did receive that pardon, so it is off of his record, off of his jacket, so to speak. And then there's just gentlemen, there's a lot of these guys.
Hey, what's going on TikTok? So I'm not sure if you guys heard the good news. I'm pretty sure most of you have, but as of last night, it's official. Donald J. Trump pardoned myself and 1,500 other January 6th political prisoners. So, these people are finally coming home to their families where they belong. And they're good people, Myself, I have an extensive criminal history from years ago, but I changed my life, and I'm doing better now. But a lot of these people are better people than myself, people that have never drank or done drugs or been in any type of trouble or anything like that, and they've been taken away from their families. It's not right. I'm so grateful. It was an emotional time last night. I ain't gonna lie to y'all. We've been through a lot this past few years, but Trump is doing a hell of a job. Promises made, promises kept. God bless Donald Trump. I just want to make this video and say thank you. Much love and respect.
Let's move on to another one here. I just want to, again, this guy talking about thanks America, literally. I just want to show you, somebody wrote the post. They said, this family is a great family. Their story is heartbreaking leading up to this point. I'm so happy to see, and I'm going to butcher this name, but Captain Christopher Kuhini, I hope that's how you say it, he's Dark Horse 92, at Dark Horse 92 on X. If you have X, get the pardon that he deserves. The man was literally cleaned garbage off the floor of the Capitol, and he and his family were put through hell. That is what happened to this guy here. I'm going to show you the repost from his wife because it's just a little bigger. Make sure I have it there. Is this it? Yeah. This guy was cleaning garbage. Literally, just cleaning garbage.
It's been 4 years. 4 years of fighting, 4 years of struggling, and I'm finally free. I don't even have the words to thank President Trump for what he's done for us. Thank you, everybody, for your support. Praise God. First and foremost, all the praise and glory goes to God, first and foremost. My beautiful wife who supported me, all of you out there who supported me. Thank you. I love you. God bless.
Man, wild. Literally, you could be like, oh, he shouldn't have stepped foot in the Capitol, but it's like the feet that he did step in when there were people trashing the place and doing stuff. He was one of the people picking up the garbage, making sure the Capitol was clean, trying to be respectful of the place that he was in. And they still tried to put him through hell. And they did. They succeeded in that. Here's a couple other people getting released. Beautiful. They got their mothers waiting there. Man, I know some people who are like street, I grew up, you're poor, you do what you have to do. But I knew some people who were like very about that street life. And that was one thing that I remember so many of them saying, that you don't even wish jail on your worst enemy. You can want to fight him. It could be on sight, all of that, but you never wish jail on anybody because it's a terrible experience. I have cousins and close family friends who have done long bids in jail, and the stories that they can tell you. My cousin once told me, he summed it up so perfectly. He's like, it's like a 24-hour horror movie. And I was like, what do you mean? He's like, because when you're in there, it's like a horror movie where someone could be talking to you and they're like, hey, what's up? And next thing you know, they're trying to stab you. And you don't know what you did. And you have to find out afterwards while you're healing up. And it's just, You just don't wish that on your worst enemy. The fact that they tried to put these people through this is disgusting. Here's more.
Sentence when that can be a sentence. Rachel, what is happening in America? Like, we got to change it. This is why we need Trump, because we got to change it.
What's your message to Trump?
Thank you, because he's put my family back together again. Without him, I wouldn't be out right now. That's amazing.
Were you ever actually convicted?
Oh, yeah. They gave me almost 5 years, and then I'm back in D.C. because I was supposed to be resentenced. The Supreme Court, they threw out the 1512 obstruction of justice charge because it should have never been used against protesters. And because of that, my guidelines changed, and I was going to get resentenced on January 6th, and then it got rescheduled. And then last Friday, the judge said, I can't decide the sentence. And so I was here waiting for that. And now I don't have to go get resentenced because Trump let me out.
Crazy. Just crazy. And this one has to be one of the most beautiful ones. Real American Voice. Real America's Voice. Good job on finding these guys.
Remember January 6th when free men stood up against tyranny. When the bonds of slavery in this country will no longer be felt. This is a great day in American history.
What's up, Jake?
Ben, my brother.
God bless you, man.
How does it feel to be free?
It feels like the Red Sea is parted in my life and my family's life. I can't imagine a better timing for this. Our country has really been waiting for a moment where political prisoners are no longer just a couple miles down the road from the United States Capitol. It's something that the American people will be able to cherish for generations, knowing that it was not the political landscape, it was the spiritual landscape that changed things. God used the spiritual landscape to change the political landscape. It was upstream.
And what do you say to President Trump?
Oh, we tell you that you've done what no man could do, President Trump. God had destined you and ordered you for this moment. Our lives have culminated. That bullet that missed your head was a bullet that missed my head, Mr. President. That could have been 15 years of my life and 15 years of these men's lives over here that just came out of the prison cell with me. That was my 30s. I'm 29 years old. I almost had my whole entire 30s eviscerated by communist tyranny.
What do you say to some people who say you don't deserve to be out?
Those people, they're lost and blind, but we're asking that God would open up their eyes, because as any man should do, or any woman faced with such oppression as a stolen election by communist tyrants, by a puppet Joe Biden, we didn't stand for violence, we stood for this right here. We prayed outside the Capitol. We were attacked, but as red-blooded Americans, we did not run the other direction. We stood and defended the men and women at our sides, shoulder to shoulder. It was a stance of American freedom that we took.
Can you
that
spell
day.
your first and last name? And I thank you for
Yeah,
taking
my
the time
name's
to
Jake Lang, guys. I
How do
love
you
you guys.
spell it?
My family's over there.
J-A-K-E.
L-A-N-G. God bless you guys. God bless you guys. God bless you guys. L-A-N-G.
Hey,
God
Jake.
bless you guys.
All right. So first off, where'd they let you out?
They said they're going to take us around the corner, and I see my dad giving an interview over there. I'm like, let me out right here. That's Big Ned Lang. He needs to give me a hug, and I have to go see him right now. But
what's your message to President Trump?
President Trump, like I've said many times before, your destiny and our destiny were intrinsically entwined from the very beginning of this entire movement. When they persecuted you at the second sham impeachment trial, we were sitting inside the gulag watching this go down. When they were dragging you through the weaponized courtrooms, Mr. President, we were standing there in our own weaponized courtrooms, being destroyed, our character dragged through the mud. When they attacked your families, they attacked ours. They opened up a barrage on our families. It was incredible, kicking down our doors, putting tear gas and flash grenades on our dogs and our daughters and our sons. It was insane, but we made it through. Our Father. Oh, God bless America. God bless America. Sweetheart, I love you. I love you. Oh, baby, I love you so much.
Jake, I'm going to take you.
May God bless you.
Your father's here.
I know he is. I know. I know it is. It's good to be an American. It's good to be an American. This is what freedom looks like. Come here. This is what freedom looks like. This is what we fight for. This is what we stood at the Capitol for. My father, Ronnie, Peter. I said,
That sounds like my son's voice. All right, now you can cry. You couldn't cry in goddamn court. Now you can cry.
Save us, Lord, from this.
Good job.
This man has stood by my side. He has fought. He has come against these evil people, and he has never given up.
Now, Jonathan, what does it today mean to you?
Oh, it means so much. You know, it's a new chapter, and it's not the end of, you know, our duties here, but it's really the beginning. You know, it's America's seen for 4 years just criminalizing patriots for standing for what was right and what we know it was right to stand on for, 2020 election. Everybody knew.
Man, just crazy. I didn't even realize how long the clip was. Again, if you're following me on X, reposting it right now, you'll be able to watch. It's like 9 minutes 30. You can see it right there, 9 minutes 39 minutes. So there's another half of the video to watch, but that right there, that was the most beautiful. This guy right here, Jake Lang, apparently beautiful speaker, I have to say. Amazing speaker. I mean, you know, just I wish that guy got to speak more, you know, at the time, and I hope he does more interviews. I actually wrote his name down. I'm gonna see if I can find him, do an interview. But yeah, just beautiful. You know, there's a lot of beautiful stuff. You know, whether it's Ray Epps or Nick Fuentes or the many more who told people to go into the Capitol and didn't get arrested. Don't know what that's about. It's not the way things like that work. But hey, who am I to judge? Anyways, guys, it's just it's amazing to see that these guys are getting released. Incredible what President Trump has done. I'm telling you, I don't think there's been a more monumental 72 hours of a presidency. I haven't seen it myself. I'm young. I have not seen anything like this before. And this is huge. Just beautiful. Man. Anyways, guys, I'm not going to do the whole Van Jones thing and start crying snot bubbles. I got a little choked up. I'm going to hold it back, actually. Anyways, like, subscribe, turn on the notifications. Helps the channel tremendously. Other than that, I'm out.